5 and chapter 10. Are we actually, we have last time we have no class. So are we uploading for online classes, which is you go to there, are we uploading for chapter 5. So I explained the several concepts about for chapter 5, which is there we cover. We continue for some video. The recorded lecture was starting for slide 14, maximizing customer lifetime value, and then we explain for maximizing customer lifetime value about for margin multiple, and then I explain for the CRM part and continue study for CRM. And last part I will explain for the figure 5.3, which is customer product profitability analysis. So this is for the recorded lectures, and maybe one more slide they left for marketing funnels. So I will start for these, explain for marketing funnel first, and then we'll move on to chapter 10. So for the final exam, I will also announcement for the final exam. So some student, I want to change it for schedule for final exam, but some foreign student already fixed the flat schedule, right? So I think that will just actually the arranged day, which is for 8th of December. At the same time, I give you 1 hour 16 minutes, and of course with the same questions format, which is multiple choices. And will be the 30 question, and the whole percent is 50%. Okay, and then textbook chapter will 5, 4, 5, 10. So today we'll finish 4, 5, 10 hopefully, and then the case study will Amul and L'Oreal's, Mercadona and Sextu, and I think that 2 more. Okay. And then so some students they didn't bring for student ID card the midterm. So please bring for your student ID before you start for final exam. Okay. Okay, that's it. So that day will be the finish for whole courses, the 8th of December. Okay. And next week, Korea for the Korean students. Next Monday and Wednesday, I will actually some summit for summarize for final exam. So please bring for this textbook. Okay. So this is for 50%. So I think that don't worry about that. You got a for bad score for the midterm exam. No matter what, I think that this is most important for prepare for final exam, because final exam is about 50%. Okay. Okay. So first of all, we will start for chapter 5. As I mentioned before, where I will explain for marketing funnel part. So this is a kind of for the segmentation and categorizing for the customer. So maybe Kotter Keller, the Professor Kotter Keller, he has for segmentation some customer depending on some characteristic. So we know that how to find out the target audience, right? So we'll study from the chapter 1. So from segmentations, then we find out what is our target audiences. This is for the first step. So when we finish for the target market, then the first step is aware groups. Aware group is that which means that you know that Apple, but you have no experience, you have any purchasing before, you just know that. So this is just aware group, which is I heard about that brand. This is aware group. And second group will be the open to trial, which means that I know the Apple, what it is, and then I tried to go there. I tried to go Apple shops, and I saw that some Apple product, laptops, iPhones, for example. So I just tried to, but they don't have it. The customer, they know that, but they don't have any product. So I am open to trying to brand, but have not done so. This is open to trial group. So I think that this is that group, the aware group and open to trial customer group. They just know that brand. That's it. They have actually informations and they have maybe awareness of that brand, but they have no experience for that, Apple product, for example. And then third group, we call that trier group, which is not rejectors. So trier is maybe he or she, the customer, been to the Apple shops, and then he tried to, and he would buy to for that product, any product for Apple, from the Apple. So I have tried to brand and would use again, but have not done so in the past 3 months. So I have go to the Zara shop, I try on for jacket, and I want to buy one, but after that I have never buy again. So the trier is not mean rejectors. This is they wanted to try first time, but they have maybe the next purchasing is not happens. Okay, so maybe the repurchase is not happening for the third group. First group is a listen user. For example, I've been to the Zara and then I bought for this jacket, but after 3 months I visit again, I buy again. So trier between for recent user have differences. The trier is just one time try for certain brand, but recent user have at least two more time to buy that one, right? So like recent user is more higher. They have some more chance to move on to loyal customer. So this marketing funnel, if you look at, they have more close to the loyal customer group. Actually, as a marketing, strategic part, maybe the most important goal is move on to the loyal customer group, right? So aware, open to trier, they don't know maybe but positive feeling about the negative feeling of the brand, but they move on to next step. That will be more increased for possibility move on to loyal customers. So this is for customer, so listen user. And fifth customer, we call the regular user. So for example, they will actually regularly buy some your product. Maybe you go to the Starbucks coffee to get iced Americano for maybe once a week. This is for the regular user. So we just compare for two different groups, which is the listen user and regular user. So listen user, their purchasing pattern is not regular. Okay, maybe he or she purchasing once, twice, or three times, but it's not regular. Okay, but if you look at for the regular user, this is they will actually purchasing pattern is very regular. As I mentioned before, I go to Starbucks every week, for example, every Sunday, every Saturday. This is for the regular user. So I'm a regular user, but this is not my most often used brand. Don't be confusing between for regular user and most often used and loyal customer, because regular user is more focusing. I love that brand, but I'm not not like loyal customer. I used to go there, but that means that I am not a loyal. So it means that it's possible to move, not Starbucks, move on to other coffee franchise. So it's possible. Maybe other product, other brand is more higher quality. Then I wanted to move on to other product. So I'm not a loyal customer. Maybe he or she, they consideration set, they may considering 2 or 3 more brands. So it's possible to move other brands. Okay, and most often use would mean that it's more closer loyal customer. So maybe I love to Nike and Adidas only for 2 brands. So if I want to go to the Nike, shoes, but they don't have it, and then I move up an Adidas. This is most often used. They always the customer think about 2 very high preference brands. So I use this brand most often, even though I do use other brands. So maybe the most often used group, they will consider maybe 2 or 3 brands. That's it. So and then last part is loyal customers. Loyal customers, they don't want to move other brands. They actually, they have a high loyalty about some Nike or Apple, Starbucks, whatever. And then they actually the recommendations and other, friends. And also the loyal customer group, they do not move other brand. They wanted to move other brand. They don't considering for other things, right? and they got a very strong relationship. I think that this is very important. Relationship between the customers and some brands. This is very important for the loyal customers. So maybe there's kind of the fan. Maybe that loyal customer group, their personality, they're categorizing like more fan club about that the certain brand. So like maybe the Apple, they have a lot of for this loyal customer. That relationship between for Apple and the customer, well, they have a more strong relationships, right? So this is loyal customer. So yeah, a lot of marketers, they wanted to move on to the loyal customer. They move on to loyal customer, but actually the heart. Maybe like a wear group and open tutorial group, they high awareness, but it's very they hard to move for loyal customer. So to move to the loyal customer, they actually make a lot of special program, improve for the relationship between the customer and the brand or customer between the company. And also maybe they wanted to engagement, increasing for engagement between the customer and the brand. So yeah, this is for we call this is marketing funnel, and then that is very important for how to do what for the customer. Okay, yeah. And we will go on to the brand. So we just finished for the customer, how to increase for their relationship, how to deal with the customers. Move on to loyal customer. So to improve the customer, we actually study for the brand things. So why we need the brands? And have you heard about brand identity? We call normally BI. Have you heard about this, BI? Yeah, what it is, BI? Is anybody give an idea what is BI? Inso, what it is?
Brand identity.
Yes, yeah, BI is brand identity. Yeah. But what is meaning for brand identity? Your name is?
Belkis.
Okay, Marcus, yeah.
It's how the customer see the brand. Like what's he thought about the brand.
Yeah, how to thought about the brand, right? Yeah, Olive?
A combination of elements that make the brand stand out. Could be elements about the 4 P's or the communication methods like the 5 C's as well. Something that sorts them apart from their group.
Okay, the brand actually include a lot of elements, factors in there, and then it's possible to communication, right? So I think that as a human being, everybody, you got the brand. So this is actually the personal brand. Maybe I have a personal brand as a marketing professor, right? So this kind of brand, brand identity is like more personality. For example, maybe some person, maybe their personalities are outgoing and very active person, proactive. This is for the 8 persons, personality. We just actually the same thing about brand identity. So, for example, Nike, we think about Nike, the brand identity is more very proactive and professional shoes, for example. So, yeah, this is actually distinguishing for other brands. Maybe we compare for Vans, between for Nike. Yeah, they have a completely different brand identity, right? So Nike is more sporty and they have a lot of function inside this. They got some equipment, for example, but the Vans, they don't have it. They're more the fashion brands. So this is brand identity. So that brand identity is possible to distinguish between for A or B. So they have a lot of for symbols. They're using symbols. Sometimes they're using for short articles. They're using for so slogans. So they have a lot of things to representative. Who am I, right? Who am I? This is brand identity. So for chapter 10, the first of all, how can I form, develop, and establish effective positioning in the market? And how do marketers identify and analysis competition? So as I mentioned before, that we start for brand identity, possible, distinguish for the other things, and also it's possible to identify the other, competitor brand. Okay, and how are the brands successful? The differentiations. And number 5, what are some alternative approaches to positioning, and what are differences in the positioning and the brand for the small businesses? So, we think about for the value proposition. Before we start with value proposition, brand identity. So, they have 3 different examples. So, the value proposition, so like Apple, their important value is think different innovations. This is important value. So Volvo, we think about Volvo. So Volvo's target customer is they're more customer who conscious for safety, right? So we think about what is value, the value proposition of the Volvo. The safeties, the most durable wagons in which your family can ride, right? So like that will actually the link for the target customer and the value proposition. So the most of the Volvo customer, they will actually prefer to the family car because they actually emphasize for safety. So this is very important things to know about the value proposition. So like targets that we're actually linking for the important value together what the value proposition. So Domino Pizza, so like their target customer is convenient mind pizza lovers, maybe convenient pizza delivery services. This target customer, but we think about for the value proposition, also actually the linking together because the delivery hot pizzas and deliver to your door. So that will actually linking for target customer between the value propositions. Okay. And we move on to POP. What is the point of differences? If we look at four different product, what is for is that shampoo? I don't know exactly. Oh, fresh air. Yeah, they have a differences, right? So they have 4 different types. So the point of differences is actually they will the same category, but they have a different color and different smells and different function. So this POD, they will emphasize for the differences, right? So the point of differences, which means attribute, benefit, that customers strongly associate with the brands and evaluate it and believe they could not find to same extent with the comparative brand. So as I mentioned before, different color compared for other comparative brand or different function, different smell, that what we call PODs. So for POD criteria, maybe desirable or desirable or differentiating, I think that difference is very important about the POD criteria. So as I mentioned before, different function will be included for the POD factor attributes. And the other things we call the PODs, what is the point of the parity? Their attribute or benefit associated that are not necessarily unique to the brand, but may in effect share with the other brand. Which means that POP, what's the similarity? So, for example, POD, as I mentioned before, this is differences, right? But the definition of this point of parity, this is emphasized for similarity. Okay, so their similarity between the four different products. Well, this is refreshers, right? So this is we call similarity. We call point of parity, which is POPs. So what is POPs for? Maybe that way actually same category. So they have electronic car same category, or some factor will correlate factor that they have it. Right? This is POPs forms. And we move on to we move on to figure. I think that figure. I don't know. I didn't remember the figure name, but yeah. Anyway, and this is choosing the specific POP and PODs. So we have to compare for what is POP and POD for prepare for final exam. So to understand for the figure is very important. So they have two different anxiousness, right? So we think about some brands, maybe brand A, B, C, D, and customer segmentation is 1, 2, 3. I think that there should be strong flavor, light flavor, and compare image and traditional image, what is maybe the food product. I think that we think about for Coca-Cola, for example. Okay, so Coca-Cola recently they got like cherry flavor. So and maybe brand A is Coca-Cola, for example. So they got for more strong flavors, for example, and maybe they got some more traditional image between for contemporary image because cherry flavor, for example. And then brand B, the Pepsi, they made Pepsi with the lime, flavor. So they got more strong image, but this is more contemporary image, strong flavor and contemporary image. And brand C, I don't know, maybe some Korean brand, maybe Pariro Cola, for example. So this is more traditional image, and they got a strong flavors, and they got more traditional image. They are not like flavor, and brand D from something other brand. So this is for that was located for their position compared for two different attributes. But and also 1, 2, 3 is for the like customer segmentation. So for customer 2, they are more preferred to light flavors, and also they got some more temporary image. They love to that. This is segmented customer 2 group. Customer 1 group, they are preferred to compare image, and they got it's not strong, maybe a little more strong flavor. And customer 3 group will prefer to the more traditional image and more strong flavor. So if you look at this, figure, maybe customer 2 is possible to prefer A product or product C, right? And customer 1 group will be prefer more product B, and customer 3 group will be prefer D. But we think about without for customer group, without this, you delete this, and we think about AB only for A, B, C, D. So we think about what is what kind of we think about the A aspect. What is POP brand or what is POD brand? So POP, as I mentioned before, this is similarity, right, between for other computer group, and POD, which means the differences. So we think about for the viewpoint of for brand A, what is POP? Can you guess among C, B, D? What is POP group? Or choose. So what is POP? This. As I mentioned before, POP is a similar functions or similar attribute. So is there any ideas about A, brand A? So they have two different attributes, right? So for the flavor aspect, they have a strong flavor and light flavor. And second attribute was contemporary image and traditional image, right? So A is more contemporary image, and also I think that is little light flavor. So for POP should be more similar, attribute, right? So what is POP groups? Strong flavors, more light flavor, or the POP groups will be more light flavor or contemporary image. This should be included for POP groups. Is there any ideas? What is POP about A? 이거 보면은 딱 떠오르지 않나요? 여러분? 딱 보면 떠오르지 않아 지금? 정답이 그냥 다 나와 있는데. 이 A랑 가장 비슷한 게 누구죠? 지금? A랑 가장 비슷한 거? 재준호 뭔 거 같아? A랑 가장 비슷한 거. B지. Right? Why the answer is B? You guys understand? 재준 is correct. Can you explain why choose B? 한국을 해봐. 내가 트랜스레이트 해줘.
그 브랜드 이미지가 컨템포러리랑 제일 가깝고 시에 비해서 브랜드 이미지가 가깝고 그리고 이거 이미지 때문에 B가 맞는 것 같아요.
Okay, so we think about brand A and brand B. They're actually the same category about the contemporary image, right? So because of that, the B is POP group. We don't exactly other brands, but we just think about for this, figure. That means that brand A and B actually the same category. They do two brands that will include for contemporary image. So they are actually the POP groups. How about POD? About the brand A, as I mentioned before, POD is different, right? Differentiation. So we think about something different attributes, which is not brand A have. Okay?
I just have a question about POPs.
Mm-hmm.
Can it also be considered that it has a POP with C? Because they're also both like flavor.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. We think if you think about for flavor aspect, then it's possible to. But I think that it's possible. They got actually the light flavor, right? So the Jeju mentioned that comparing for contemporary image, that were the same POP group. But you mentioned that consider for light flavor. In these cases, A and C is actually POP, right? Okay. Yeah. And we think we find out what is POD. Okay. Yeah.
D, for example,
Yeah.
because D is on the strong flavor
Mhm.
side, and the traditional image, which is both not where A
Yeah,
is located.
the opposite, right? So this is for POD, right? I think it's not that difficult at all. So for the prepare for the final exam, you have to just distinguish which is POP and POD, and you just a judgment. I give you the same graph like that. Okay? I don't think that this is not. 혹시 이해 안 가는 학생? 이해 안 가는 학생 손 들어볼까요? 이거 뭔 말하는지 모르겠다. 다 알아요? 다 알아요, 여러분? 알아? 진짜? 정말? 오케이? 여기 알아요? 알아요? 여기 뒤에 학생 알아요? 요즘 시험 잘 본 학생이잖아. 학생. 오케이? 다 알죠? Yeah? So hopefully it's not that difficult at all. You just compare what is POP and POD. So that's it. Okay, and then actually we move on to more deeper understanding for starting for brand mantra. Before we start, I explain starting from this figure first. Then I give you more explanation for brand mantra and then communication category memberships. Okay, and then I give you more explanation for small business how to positioning. anyway, I think it's quite important, of course, for the branding part and for final exam as well. So look at for these, we call these brand bullseyes. So yeah, bullseyes is maybe we just to put some arrow in, in central, right? So brand mantra is actually very important kind of brand identity, but more strong, strong image about the brands. So this is one example for Starbucks cases. So I will explain as an example Starbucks, okay? So Starbucks, we think about brand mantra. What is strong brand image? They got a more strong, actually the experience about coffee. If you enter for the Starbucks coffee, you feel that interior design and mostly the wood and green colors, and then you saw some, you heard hearing some, the music. It's more jazz type, and you smell it for the Starbucks, coffee bean, coffee smells, right? So atmosphere, if you enter for Starbucks coffee, you feel like that, this is for more comfortable, and then, feel more the Starbucks things. The touch for the sensory, the touch for your sight, your smell, you touch for your, smells and everything. So I think that this is very important. So brand mantra is actually rewarding coffee experience is very important for brand mantra. This is actually core value of the Starbucks coffee. And we think about the POP and PODs. So we think about POP for mega coffee, coffee bean, or something different one. Maybe POP is like reasonable local involved. Maybe near the Dongguk station, they have near the Starbucks coffee, near the Dongguk stations, and then the other coffee shop, what is, I don't remember the name, but they have a street. Taegukdang will be located also near the Dongguk station. This is actually bakery plus coffee, and then the other one is another coffee chain. So we think about near the Dongguk station, at least 5 the coffee chain, coffee brand in near the Dongguk station. So this is actually similarity of those brands, right? So we call they got POP their similarity. They locate more near the stations, right? And also the price, I think is most similar, right? The near for maybe near the 5,000 won, right? For one Americano. So I think that they're very similar price. But one thing, maybe you go to the campus coffee or you go to some for lower price, maybe should be this will be different attribute. But we think about just normal. So like they got a fair price and reasonable and the local involved. This is a similarity. But we think about point of differences. Maybe you go to maybe some campus coffee or you go to the mega coffee. It is possible to study there, but its atmosphere is something different, right? So if you go to Starbucks coffee, it's possible to relaxing, and also you got a rich sensory consumption experience, as I mentioned before. They stimulate your, smells and sights, and also they're very convenient. They have friendly services, and they have a high fresh coffee, quality, for example. I think that this is point of differences. Atmosphere, something different from other coffee chains. And so yeah, we know that what is POPs and PODs it will be changing depending on the personal viewpoint. But anyway, I just explained from the textbook. And then they have two we think about for RTB. So for example, you go to the Starbucks coffee, we see maybe 24 hours for the baristas, right? So that way actually the system for the training system for baristas. And then also they got a totally integrated system. What is they got some in South Korea, like Starbucks coffee, they have some good systematically for employee system. And they got some more, for vacation, for example, extra salaries. So that will actually systematically for the employee. and then they got afford stock option to the employees and health benefit to baristas. So this is for actually more extra beneficial to employee part. And then we think about value, personality, character for Starbucks coffee. So maybe their main target group is the coffee drinkers and maybe consumer who considering coffee and drinking experience often unsatisfying. Something maybe price issues or something different issues. And then we think about for the green and earth colors. This is representative of Starbucks coffee. So like that means that maybe customer desire to better coffee and better consumption experience. So they will actually make some more comfortable. They're using comfortable color, which is green and earth colors. And how about competitive? The coffee chain. Maybe they're mostly the local cafe in South Korea and have a local chain. Maybe the mega coffees, Baekdabang. This is a local chain. So they have a comparative product sets. And the last part, we think about logo, right? So maybe the Starbucks logo mermaid will be distinguished from other, like logo. So this is also they include for this personality. So this like visual identity, I think it's quite important, right? Mega coffee they have a yellow, but the Starbucks coffee green and earth color with the mermaid. But mega coffee only for the alphabetical mega. So what is this logo will be actually distinguished for other product. And the personality, maybe the Starbucks coffee is more rich experience. Compared to the mega coffee is a low cost experience. So will be different personality and different characters. Valuable things, it depends actually. The target customer who love to more spare their time, then they prefer to go to Starbucks coffee. But consumer who prepare the price issue, then maybe they go to mega coffee because of less than the 2001. So yeah, it depends customer preference. And some customer, the to-go customer, Starbucks give me the richest possible sensory experience drinking coffee. So this is for whole about for brand mantra, right? Mantra is more center, important value, and they will compare for POP and PODs, and then there will extra information about for RTB, which is how to training for their employee, is especially the baristas, and then we think about brand personality, value, what brand the character is, and then we think about brand identity and the color, something like that. So this is brand bullseye, positioning bullseye. So yeah, it's possible to, by using these figure, we actually easy to analysis for any brand. The starting from the maybe brand mantra, and then they get second analysis we using POP and PODs, and then the third analysis is more RTB, which is more extra beneficial things. It's more focusing on for employees. And then lastly, we also analysis brand personality, brand value, colors, brand visual identity. So more easy to compare for to know about analysis any brand. Okay. Okay, so I give you more information about the brand mantra as I mentioned before. So the brand mantra, Starbucks coffee. So like very, I think the most important things is a simplify. They have no complexity. That's the one word. Comfortable coffee experience. That's it, right? There should be more simplified, and then this, sentence will be inspired to the customer. The coffee experience. They stimulate all the sensory part, the human sensory. That's it. And then this logo, maybe the green color and mermaid, will be the communicate. So if you look at this logo, that every consumer know that, oh, this is Starbucks coffees. I feel like they're more Starbucks coffees. Like that they feel for more atmosphere about the Starbucks coffees, right? So the three factor is very important. Communicate, simplify, and inspire. This is for the last part about chapter 10, which is for positioning for the small businesses. Yeah, maybe if you wanted to start start a company, you start for a small business. So the branding still important. So actually nowadays a lot of small when the start company they're using for essence media to use for the buzz marketing, right? So the create buzz and the lure brand community. I think this is very important for the small businesses, right? And the second part that will actually the creatively to conduct the low cost market research. Maybe they were using for survey, which they always done. So they have an interview. So they got some very important insight from this market research. Then they move on to the create buzz marketing, and then actually focusing on one or two the strong brands, and based on one or two key associates, right? I think that this is very important. As I mentioned before, Starbucks coffee, they got a good coffee experience. Just one word, right? One key important attribute that will actually buzz for the other customer. So I think that this is very important. Focusing, building one or two stronger brands and based on one or two key associations, right? And And lastly, we have to think about develop the cohesive the digital strategy to make a brand bigger and better. So actually, for these small businesses, maybe for example, they're using the TikTok, right? This is one example. Just one key important association, key important attribute that we're using through the TikTok that will actually increase, just to increase for their brand awareness by using the buzz marketing. I think that this is very important nowadays. I think that's it for the small business for how to increase for their branding. This is kind of the tactic, right? Okay. So now I give you time for how to using the brand mantra. I think it's any brand to any as a group. You can choose any brand. Maybe I choosing for Starbucks coffee, but you can choose whatever. And then you have to analysis with your friends, with your groups, and then how to analysis brand mantra, POP and POD, and RTB, and the personality things, right? I think that it's not that much time. 단장님 우리 언제 끝나죠? 15분? Okay, we only left 30 minutes, so I give you 20 minutes for you guys analysis by using brand positioning both sides. And if you have any questions, raise your hands. I give you more explanation for chapter 10. If you have a question for both sides, I can more explanation personally. And then if you need more explanation about point of differences, point of parity, the figure, I give you more explanations. And then POP, POD, I think that it seems to be you understand well. And and then lastly, if you give you more explanation for marketing tuner, then I give you more explanation in personally, okay? So I give you 30 minutes. I give you 30 minutes as a group, okay? 자, 여러분 그룹은 다 아시죠? So you can go your group and then you have to analysis any brand. Coca-Cola, IKEA, whatever. You just the analysis by using this analysis brand both sides.